let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And, if you are sitting at your desk with your legs down, have them in a parallel position rather than, legs crossed over knees or ankles crossed. And your feet flat on the floor, about at hips width apart. And try and get a sense of the pressure, the weight, the temperature of the feet, texture of whatever it is your feet are in right now. They could be just in socks. And then just notice the backs of the legs on the chair and your sits bones in the chair. And maybe the weight of your hands in your lap. So now align your shoulders with your hips and your ears with your shoulders. And imagine your spine as a beautiful string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So you're just lengthening your spine, making it nice and long, putting some space in between those vertebrae. And then go to the crown of the head and just release any tension there around the scalp. Just imagine you're just letting your scalp go. Just the skin on the top of the head. And then bring your awareness down to your forehead, your eyebrows, your eyes, the nose, the cheeks, and the area around the mouth, the back of the tongue, and the ears and the inner ears. And the temples. Relax the temples, and then the back of the head and the back of the neck, and allow your shoulders and shoulder blades just to drop down. And relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. Be aware of any sound in your environment, just allowing all the sounds to be there. Just trying not to follow with the mind. Be aware of any potential distractions. Smells, pets, any kind of movement, someone in your home. Just allow it all to be there. Notifications, ignore them. And then just bring your attention now to your mind and your thoughts and what's going on in there this evening, or the middle of the day for the Australians on the East Coast. So just allowing your thoughts to bubble up and arise and abide. And the trick is to not follow them into your self-created documentary, which is actually more like fiction. So we don't know what's happening from one moment to the next. Just try not to judge what's in your mind. And sort of let the thoughts go. And be aware of bringing to mind all these people of our life, our loved ones, our strangers, and the ones we don't like very much. Just remembering they're all equal. They want to be happy, they don't want to suffer, and they all have this unbelievable capacity for an enlightened mind. So we think we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So we think we sincerely regret from the depths of our heart anything we've done to harm any living being on this day, on this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then just regret all, even the ones you can't remember. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so, having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. We know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has the power and the methods we can use to purify. It's not we're not needing Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart. So the left is underneath the right. The left's holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So we have this little section on developing compassion. And compassion is just really a wish for people to be free from suffering. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. This is why it's a subheading under the heading of reliance. The very beings we've harmed and those who have harmed us by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who've harmed you, and particularly have compassion for these ones, because the harm they've caused you is going to result a suffering for them sometime in the future. So make the strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to the power of remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And it pours out of you and disappears into space, and there's not one atom left. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hom Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasapasamayam Manupalaya Vajrasapadina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasapasamayam Manupalaya Vajrasapadina Patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe, vajrasafa samayam manupalaya, vajrasafa dina patita, jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa sawasidi mepiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasafa samayam manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita. Jida meboa sipokaya meboa. Anorakta meboa sawasidi mepiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you, and all our inappropriate speech, not knowing the right thing to say at the right time, blurting stupid stuff out. So imagine all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasapa samayam manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mempiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasafa samayam manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mempiyata sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasafa samayam manupalaya, vajrasafa dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa sawasidi mempiyata sawa kama sitame. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan. Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasafa samayam manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita. Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anorakta meboa sawasidi mempiyata sawa kama sitame. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva Samayam Anupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hom Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Anupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mebiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam guru hom ha 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 ho bhagawan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hom pe. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anorakta meboa sawasidi mebiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others with your speech. And that includes yourself, because you hear what you say and you read what you write. So just consider anything that you put up on your social media or on emails, this represents your speech. And now the mind. So imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So as instantaneously as flicking on the switch in a dark room, a light switch in a dark room, and the light coming. The light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment and neediness and bitterness and anger and depression, anxiety, resentment, jealousy, guilt, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva samayam anupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samayam anupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mepi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And now the purification of even the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. So this time imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar. And the nectar flows down, pushing out all the negativity of the body. And then the nectar flows up, pushing out all the negativities of the speech. And then the light comes and just completely blasts all the delusions. And imagine this is happening all at the same time. And also at the same time as we're reciting the mantra. And this way we're eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Vajrasattva samayam anupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida mebowa sitokaya mebowa sipokaya mebowa Anarakta mebowa sawasidi mebi yatsa sawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva samayam anupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida mebowa sitokaya mebowa Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sitokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Sitokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Sitokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Sitokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Sitokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. Now we come to the power of resolve, the fourth and the final step in the purification process, and a really crucial one. And this is this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And so without this sort of determination, we're just going to keep doing the same old things over and over again because we have all these habit energies. So this determination becomes like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So remember, everything exists on the tip of the wishes, as Lama Zopa Rinpoche used to say, the aspiration. So just think of something you'd like to work on today, between today and tomorrow. Some little habit that you may have noticed or someone's told you about. Might be something to do with your speech. Could be some other kind of a habit. And start with the little easy ones. You know, don't start with a great big, very, very difficult one. Just start with something easy so you feel encouraged. You can be successful. And then imagine Vajrasattva's delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And you think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche. Whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I have created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So here we've got Shaila's put up that chanting the names of Manjushri for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Great reassurance, foremost celebration, great joyousness, the highest form of pleasure, abundance, reverence, action, venerable, great happiness, the Lord, noble Lord of splendor, the greatest granter of all wishes wished for, the highest source of refuge, refuge granting, the fearsome enemy of potent danger, alleviating danger in all forms, with tufts of hair, with plumes of luscious hair, with matted hair and matted locks, cord tied, 5-faced, with 5 hair tufts, his head well crowned, his head adorned with garlands of 5 strands. All right, everybody, let's have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long. Them, wish for them. Tomorrow morning, then we have a Guru Puja practice. Check the website, and then also I'm doing a introduction to mindfulness meditation. Session 2 is tomorrow if you want to join us. All right, everybody, lots of love. Thank you so much. Okay, bye.